You're watching Force 13's live streaming service.
This is your TWB light. I'll turn myself down there. Yes, it's a light number 1 for September 14th. The light was made by Jack. So around the world there is Yagi, which is still traceable, which is 05B. Ileana or Ileana is on the Eastern Pacific, Bebinca in the Western Pacific, Gordon and the extratropical remnants of Francine. In the North Indian Ocean, there is nothing apart from Yagi, which is still traceable as 05B, inland. In the Western Pacific, there is a 20% AOI marked by Ticos, and the tropical storm Bebinca, which has not lived up to its expectations that were given to it at the start of the week. In the Eastern Pacific, Ileana is now over land, it looks like. I don't know if it has made landfall yet, but it is now Pacific, and in the Atlantic, Gordon is the low tropical storm, Francine is an extratropical, and 94 hours 0%, and there's a 40% chance over the Atlantic. Hello, this is Force 13 Live. Sorry, there's a technical issue with my mic there. This is a Tropical Weather Bulletin Live. We'll be covering the current storms active, which are Gordon, Ileana, Bebinca, and the extratropical remnants of Francine. We'll also go over the Invest and the AOIs active as well. We are going to introduce the team here. Joining us, we have, if I can find it, where is it? Oh no. This is not very good. I seem to have lost my... Okay, this is not ideal. I might be able to find it. Right, there we go. That should now be working. So we have Farhan with us and Zeta. If you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Hello.
That was a blooper to be put on the charts there. That was a terrible audio issue. So I did not have long to prepare for this at all. And I'm not feeling the best either, but I thought I would have to do a Tropical Weather Bulletin live at some point this week to cover the storms properly that weren't covered in our coverage streams for Francine. So how are you two today? Or tonight, I should say.
Oh, doing alright.
It's fine.
Woke up really late today.
What are your thoughts?
As per usual.
What are your thoughts on the current tropical storms active?
Well, in terms of other than Francine, which is still out there and on its last leg, in some of the storm that is still out on the waters right now, there is two ways to look at it in terms of like intensity. Yeah, you could say that it's a bit disappointing that they're all weak tropical storm. However, when it comes to threat to land, I guess you have to say that it's a good thing that they're all weak tropical storm, because it means that
Well,
all impacts that they
Ileana.
would have is like minimalized compared to what possibly Bebinca had the potential to become a strong, powerful typhoon, so a back-to-back major in the Western Pacific perhaps, but that doesn't seem to be happening anymore, so that's
No.
good news, I guess.
However, Ileana, on the other hand, is posing a threat to land in western Mexico, in the eastern Pacific.
Yes, that is true. Ileana is nearing landfall, if not already, according to the light. It looked like it was overland, but I don't think it is yet. So, yeah, that is a threat to the Baja California Peninsula, and also mainland Mexico, once it makes landfall there. It is a tropical storm, but then again, you can expect anything, and it's still enough to cause some damages. So prepare for anything, really.
When it comes to storm like this, really, the real threat is if it stalls and start to dump lots and lots of rain on the area it is at. But if that doesn't happen, then it should be relatively superficial damage. I mean, this is nothing, funnily enough, exactly 10 years ago, another storm was approaching Baja California, but a much stronger storm, Odile, back in 2014. That storm did a lot of damage. And I think compared to that, this one would be quite paltry in comparison. Unless, of course, it stalls and dumps rain, which that doesn't seem likely at the moment, but who knows? Maybe it will, maybe it won't.
Yes. As you were saying earlier, Farhan, Bebinca's predicted cone has changed a lot since when it was first made. It was predicted to become a major, and now it's predicted to only just hit typhoon status before making landfall in China. What are your thoughts on that? Yes, Jack. Bebinca is 9 millibars. I need to replace that. Hold on.
Hey, Jack.
Hello, Jack.
Hello.
Yes. Jack is now here. Wonderful. Sure, he'll be here to help. I am going to pull up some imagery of Bebinca instead of Gordon on the screen. Just to show off Bebinca for a bit, as that was what we were talking about before.
Well, Bebinca was originally planned out by us to become a major typhoon, but now it's well, it looks like it's only just get to Category 2, maybe not even Category 2 status.
And it might only make landfall as a severe tropical storm.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're forecasting, and the JTWC, I believe, is in agreement with that as well.
Yep.
Just going to. As for Gordon is just going to stay out to sea as a TS. It is planned to weaken back down to a tropical depression from the NHC, and then re-intensify to a tropical storm and turn north. The cone's quite small as well, so it doesn't extend very far. It looks like the storm will be travelling quite slow.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to have a look at Ileana.
Yes. I'm going to answer a couple of questions in the meantime, though. Will Gordon churn out to sea? Well, it's in the sea at the moment. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere, so...
Yes.
I mean, most models are showing it curving to the northeast, near the Azores.
Yeah.
Just a little fact point that I thought I should probably throw in there. If we're being perfectly honest, and this might be a bit pedantic, Gordon as a name in the North Atlantic shouldn't even be active and used anymore, because 30 years ago, yes, the 1990s, 30 years ago, people. You feel old yet? I hope you do. But yeah, in 1994, 30 years ago, Tropical Storm Gordon went through the major islands, Cuba, Jamaica, and Haiti, and it did, well, not so much damage, but a lot of death, especially in Haiti, where it killed more than 1,000 people. which you
Yeah,
think
it
would
was.
be enough to warrant retirement, but for whatever reason, it wasn't. The explanation I've seen thrown around was that the Haitian representative, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that's hearsay or is that the actual reason. It's pretty stupid if it is, but yeah, if you ask me, it should have been retired then. But no, it's still going 30 years later as a name, and now it's being used again.
I just want to make a note. Ileana, right now. This could be. Well, this could either be a landfall or not a landfall. This is going to scrape the coast, like of the very very south.
Baja California.
Yes. So when it's either going to be a landfall or not, and if it is a landfall, it's not at all. Like we're looking at landfall for the storm at the end of the hour, I think, or like less.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna have a look at other storms. $80 miles per hour when it enters, as and when it enters the East China Sea, and they're actually JTWC are actually yeah. So JTWC are expecting the storm to be a severe tropical storm, as they just said, at landfall to the south of Shanghai, in between Shanghai and Wenzhou, which is obviously solid. But it's quite surprising, really, because like we were expecting this storm to be much stronger, and so was the JTWC. I believe it said 125 knots, not peak forecast at one point, but that has gone down the drain. And these remnants of Yagi as well, currently over Kolkata region, I think it's pronounced, like that sort of area. That's going to cause a lot of rain. Gordon, there's no problem with Gordon, and Francine is barely traceable. I wouldn't really add it on there, add it as a focus at all, to be fair.
Oh goodness, I just.
And what's this? Right, 94 hours, 0% chance. I think that NHC have all with that too. And this disturbance, the 40% disturbance, just off the coast of, just off the east coast, near Florida, Georgia, and Carolinas.
Yep.
That's 40% chance. But it has not got an ID tag.
No.
I'm not sure what else to say really that about the tropics right now. But obviously, the idea is the fact that I believe that the main focus right now should be Ileana, because how close it is to landfall right now, it would have made landfall by the end of the hour.
Yep. Most likely.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
It depends. It's either going to make landfall or scrape the coast, as I was saying earlier. This storm, it's only going to spend, it's not going to spend a long at all over land. How long?
I will read a couple of questions in time. Hurricane Alternate Bron says, any new invest in the Atlantic next week? Well, I'm looking
There's
at
an
models.
AOI,
There's an
but
AOI,
not an
so that
invest.
could become an invest.
There is also this
It would be
like
95
some new cloud coming off of the African continent there, moving into the MDR, just just to the southeast of Gordon. Now, if Gordon has no effect on that, then that could also be a potential to become an AOI. 94L, obviously, as I said earlier, is complete rubbish.
Yep.
I have some people argue that it may have briefly been a tropical depression for a couple hours, like 12 to 18.
Hold on a minute, what the hell is that? I'm not quite sure what that is. Okay.
Some people have argued. I'm not sure where my
Wait.
stance is on it, but
Some people have argued what?
that 94L may have been a TD for 12 to 18 hours or something like that.
What, a tropical depression?
Yeah, tropical depression.
No, not at all.
Yeah, probably not.
A couple of people are asking what Gordon is going to do. Well, I can put up the NHC cone here. This is what the NHC have Gordon doing. In the long term, from the GFS, it does have it heading northeast, it looks like. But not really intensifying any more than it is currently until it gets into its extratropical stage. And it looks like it could become a... believe it or not, it could become a huge windstorm for the United Kingdom. But we will...
Check live output.
Gordon's remnants. They could even they could get well, not like from when it becomes a TS once it's been at TD that the NHC and Force 13 are expecting right now. It's going to interact with this sort of subtropical system that spins off. And it's not like that subtropical system isn't marked. It's not anything right now. I don't think it is anything. It's just like, in fact, that's like that contains some of the remnants of Francine. It looks like a subtropical storm that interacts with Gordon, pushes Gordon straight into the United Kingdom.
Yep.
And then heads towards the United Kingdom itself in later time. Not much for the Atlantic's future, really. So
I will put up Gordon's model intensity guidance there.
Yeah. And while you're doing that, I'm going to take a look at the Western Pacific.
And I will also pull up Rambee's multi-model diagnostics on Gordon too, if anyone's interested.
Well, GFS actually has a very large and rainy storm forming in the East China. Well, just actually, that's the Philippine Sea. Then into the East China Sea is a stronger system, Category 1 almost, and making landfall in Japan. Well, actually, does that make landfall in Japan? No, it skirts in between Japan and South Korea.
Yeah, it's one of the two.
Yeah, and then look at this they have here, right on the right on the city range forecast. September 29th, September 30th. Those days especially, it looks like they're predicting a Category 3. Now that's not guaranteed at all, but that storm looks like it's heading straight for the Philippines. That's not
If you look at the very...
So no, that's not going to happen.
If you look at the far left of the screen, there is a little thing that might become something in the Bay of Bengal, right? Yeah. 995 millibars at that same time.
I see what you mean now, Jack, in the end of the
subtropical
range
thing.
Yes,
well,
but also the
thing form in the North Indian there that you were talking about, it tries to form, but it doesn't quite make it.
Yeah, just barely. Then it makes landfall in Myanmar.
Yes. Any other questions?
Right.
Hurricane Alternate Braun says, how much rainfall will they get from this typhoon? I'm guessing they mean Bebinca.
I can go and have a look.
Don't know how certain. Yeah, I guess the main spots would be Okinawa and China. Now, well, I guess all of the Japanese, well, maybe not all of them, but most of them will be affected by Bebinca. Obviously, it's not as strong as it would be.
Of course, Okinawa. Well, this storm looks like it's going to go straight through and thread in between Okinawa and Amami, and the islands in between those islands will obviously get affected by that storm even greater. And then it will turn into China and hit
Yep.
China as a severe tropical storm. So Bebinca is intensifying right now, but it doesn't look like it's going to get anywhere near as far as anyone was originally expecting.
No.
But and that storm that I was talking about that turns in, like, heads towards Japan, ends up becoming a huge extratropical system and heads off towards Alaska in the model runs. Now I'm going to go ahead and check this rain. So how much rain would this cause? Well, if I have a look, it looks like the most rain from Bebinca is going to be caused for the south of Amami. And then once it gets to China, it hits like a region in between Shanghai and Wenzhou, and this storm actually looks like it's going to cause quite a bit of rain for Shanghai as well in the GFS predictions, because the GFS have Bebinca's track trending north of where JTWC and Force 13 are expecting.
Yeah.
What else is there? And a key storm right now, obviously, Ileana, which it could be making landfall very soon. Doesn't look like it's going to cause too much rain over the next 24 hours. It basically makes landfall, and then it makes landfall again. It'll be weaker when it does that, and it just goes. It gets shredded up
By that
by
mountainous
those
terrain.
mountains.
Yep.
And then towards the end of the, well, at the Scilly range for the GFS, there's another Eastern Pacific storm forming, and it looks like it's going to get slightly a bit stronger and head into, like, towards Mexico. But that is the Scilly range once again, so that's
City range, quite
complete.
irrelevant. A lot of the time, the city range is not what happens at all. So some occasions it has, but
I think that's as much as I can run through, because I am very tired, as you could probably hear from my voice.
Yeah.
Good luck with the rest of the stream, everyone, and
Thank
thank
you.
you for.
Of course. Hope you feel better soon, Jack.
Yeah, before we get soon. Thanks for your input. Okay, back to some questions here. Atlantic and Pacific are cooking a comeback by spawning more storms. Well, they're both. I think the East Pac's about the same average as it was last year. Actually, no, I think we were on about Hova last year, weren't we?
Around there, yeah.
The Atlantic is definitely below average, and so is the Western Pacific, I believe, at this point in the year. Well below. You know, that's just how this year's going. So similar to last year, you get more of that quality, or
just the entire northern hemisphere pretty much is just below active.
Oh, it's just been more quality than quantity, apart from the East Pack, where they decided to spam a couple of tropical storms for a while, but yeah, that's all that is happening there. I will bring up the... Is there anything else on Bebinca I can show? I can show the cone, and I will show Bebinca's cone on the screen for a second. Does any of you two, Farhan or Zeta, have anything else to show at all?
I sent you some stuff for Gordon in the live output channel. Just some model
Gordon.
intensity guidance, track guidances, all that.
I can go and bring that up as well.
Yeah, basically
that-
like half the models keep this at TC and like half the models kind of kill it off a bit.
Yeah. As you see by Bebinca's track, it was supposed to be up to, I believe, 110 knots
By this point.
by just after the... Well, I mean, just after Okinawa, it's supposed to hit 110 knots. Now it's predicted to reach a peak of 70 knots. So a lot lower, and scraping that Category 1 typhoon intensity.
Mm.
Well, we're not scraping, it's pretty far in, but... Yeah, it's not that major that we were... Well, not we were, but the GTWC were forecasting before. It does still forecast to go on to China after passing through the islands, which was to be expected, as that is the path it is taking, but the intensities are completely different to the predictions, which happens sometimes, but this is why I don't leave my expectations too high for a storm, because it could just flop any minute.
Yep.
I will go and pull up the Gordon track stuff on the side here. This is showing the model guidance, model track guidance there for Gordon. They all have a similar type track-ish, I would say. Some models kind of like make it curve off to the northeast a lot earlier, but most of them are on the same path. Yeah, Gordon's not expected to do too much. It's just expected to sit there as a most likely a tropical storm. I mean, you never know, but unlike Francine with its intensification last minute, I don't think Gordon will intensify off of its current projection.
I also have noticed that, in theory, Gordon should be the first system of the season to not make landfall.
Really?
Crazy,
Is that a
right?
fact?
Yes. Alberto did, Beryl did, Chris did, Debbie did, Ernesto did, and Francine did.
Oh wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How many more name storms to get to the average of Westpac storms? That wasn't a question, but I did just read that. Now, I think the average is about, I believe it's 28 to 32 or something like that. I've forgotten the number
Something like
exactly.
Something like that.
I'm gonna have to search up 25.7. Okay. So actually lower than I thought it was, but at this time of the year we are definitely below average. With only 12 tropical storms, I believe, performance on the Western Pacific. You can quote me wrong on that. I believe it's 12 or 13, one of the two. Is Farhan still here?
Farhan? I guess that means he's not.
I guess not so. Any more questions I can read out before I move on to some more model stuff? Doesn't look like it. I think I've read out pretty much all questions. Yeah, it seems like it's it. Alright,
Much.
I do not have WSV3, so I'm going to have to put out the Tropical Tidbits models. But... oh well. I will do the North Atlantic first, and we'll go for each other basin.
Alright.
Sorry if I'm struggling with my pronunciation. I'm not feeling too good. Just the thing I'll put this there. So those who look at the North Atlantic models, and a bit of the Eastern Pacific there as well. So this is the, I think this is the long range, if I can remember. I've forgotten. Yeah, I believe so. This is not those city range stuff, I don't think it could be. I'm pretty sure, actually, no, I think this is the full forecast. Yep, all the way up to September 30th. So you can see Gordon. Oh, well, Gordon's gone now, but you would have seen Gordon. Have I only got it? Ah, I see. I only have it through a certain point of the image.
Yeah.
I'll relink it. No, yeah, that should show the entire thing, hopefully. Or is it just going to stay still? Well, it can do
Oh
that
my
too if it
God.
wants to.
Technology's not on our side today, is it?
No, really is not. It really has not been a tool for the entire stream, I'll say that.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, that should be the entire forecast model. It is a city range only by Glowing Rose. Thank you very much. I did not know that. I'm always getting confused with the Tropical Tidbits models, because I normally just go off of the WSV3 models that are provided by Nathan. But Nathan is on holiday or vacation, so he's having a nice time in his mystery location. And we cannot reveal the location until Sundays.
Nope.
No. Have a look here, you can see Gordon firing up to the northeast and becoming a huge extratropical cyclone going into Europe there. Massive. Massive. I also want to pay attention to that Carolinas area of interest, because it looks like it makes landfall straight into North Carolina once it starts developing. And there's actually another one that comes up there. There's actually two, it looks like.
There's like, I think there's 3 systems simultaneously active, including Gordon. I saw when I pulled up them all. Yep, there they are.
Wow.
There's 3 of them.
I'm going to quickly generate the Eastern Pacific one ready. I'll leave it on the Atlantic for a
Alright.
bit longer, for another run. And then we'll pull up the Eastern Pacific and we'll go over that one. Okay. I'll pull up the Eastern Pacific. So this is Eastern Pacific. Now, there is Ileana, completely gone. And there doesn't seem to be anything else, actually, on this. For a while, it looks like.
Except for like one storm in the Scilly range.
One storm in the Scilly range. Well, we'll see that once we get to the end of the... Oh, yeah, I see it now. There it is.
Yep.
At the very end. That would mark a very dead Eastern Pacific. Obviously, we're going off GFS here and not every other model, but GFS is the model that we mainly use. Obviously, we can go for the European one and Icon and all sorts, but I'm going to go off GFS for now.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Which one is CMC again? Which one is CMC again? I forgot it.
Oh, that's a good question. I've forgotten all my model knowledge.
That's fair.
I really have.
Felt.
Is Ileana trying to flood Baja California? Or Baja California? I cannot say that correctly.
Baja California.
Well, it is moving quite slowly, and that is the danger of it, because it's not very strong, but if it just sits there and dumps a load of rainfall, it could just keep on dumping rainfall on that area, and that could cause a lot of flooding issues, maybe not too much storm surge, but a lot of flooding. Obviously, there is a lot of mountains inside Mexico, but Baja California, I don't know how mountainous that terrain is. If you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the Western Pacific now. Now, this is interesting because you can see Bebinca go straight into China there, and you can see another system kind of linger its way around Japan there. And you see another one linger around Japan, and almost on the South China Sea as well. And then we have huge extratropical systems, but at the end of the range there, the end of the sunny range, you've got another, but looks like to become a typhoon heading towards the Philippines. CMC is the Canadian model. Zeta.
Ah, I thought so. Yeah, makes sense.
So Western Pacific looks very active in the coming weeks off of the GFS at the moment. Obviously, all of this could change,
it's been doing that for a while now.
Yeah. I mean, Western Pacific always has a chance to spring anything out, so there is always a chance for anything. Fix your audio, please.
My audio?
I do not know. I'm double checking the audio.
I mean, my internet is notorious for being
Audio
terrible.
seems fine on my end. I can alter it a bit though. Right, is there any other basins? I guess I'll cover the North Indian as well. I'm actually interested to see this because I don't know. I haven't actually looked at the North Indian at all. We aren't focusing on the North Indian this stream, but I thought I might as well bring up to finish off the whole Northern Hemisphere. Then we can get back to more chat on the main concern being the Eastern Pacific storm, Ileana, because of where it is at the moment, and its threat to land at this current time. Right, I will now put in the North Indian one. Now you can see Yagi there, inland, as it slowly dies off as a remnant. It's still traceable. Still traceable inland. Now, Zeta, you want about something springing up in the Bay of Bengal. I do see what you mean.
It doesn't look like much. Doesn't look like much, but it could be something later on. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. It's just the North Indian. It can do anything as well. Alright, I'm going to bring up Ileana's cone to show what the NHC have for this storm. That is what the NHC have for this. So it looks like it will skirt along the Baja California coast and then go into the bay of... I've forgotten the name of it. Wow, my geography knowledge has completely left
Bengal.
me. No, not Bengal.
Wait, which one?
No,
Oh.
no.
No, not
We're
Bengal.
talking about Ileana.
Oh, yeah, I was zoning out.
And it looks like a weakened subtropical depression before even reaching Mexico, mainland Mexico. I mean, Baja California is mainland Mexico, but it is a peninsula, so I will talk about that separately for now, even though it is a part of mainland Mexico. But, yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to intensify anymore.
The thing about this part of Mexico, really the whole western coast of Mexico, it's really jagged and really gets mountainous really quick, and so
Yeah.
it's really hard for storm to really maintain itself once it get close to it. I mean, even Patricia, probably the strongest storm ever, it weakened massively compared to its pigmenticity when it was coming closer to land. So even if the strongest storm the basin has ever seen got pretty much pulverized as soon as it got close to these coastlines, what would a tropical storm could do?
It died as it rapidly weakened as quick as it intensified.
Yeah. I mean,
Bit of a
Farhan
jumbled
does have a point about the mountainous and jagged terrain around this area of Mexico. It is not a good not a good mixture for storms to keep their intensity. And it's one of the ways it can die off, not only by shear, but by just general lack of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Waters in the Gulf of California are extremely warm, that is true. I think the general terrain around it stops it from keeping itself alive. Now, what is the wind shear like around that area? Does anyone know at the moment? Or am I going to have to pull up the
I don't have
multi... What's it called? Okay, yeah, shear does increase. That will kill off the storm as well. In fact, it increases about over 30 knots by the next 2 days. But yeah, there is a tropical storm warning in place for the coast of southern Baja California. And of course, anyone in that area, I will check on the flooding, rainfall, all sorts. Rainfall potential, I will bring up now. Okay. Right, here is the rainfall potential for Ileana. It actually doesn't look like most of the rainfall will be in Baja California, but instead be on the Mexican coast. It still is in a 4 to 6 inch area. Actually, some bits being 6 to 8 inch area. Which is still something to go over, of course. Okay. Do any of you have any imagery or anything I haven't shown so far to show? Maybe you can share your screen and I can
Well,
look.
I don't know if
have
this
anything
is
right
I don't know if this is worthy or not, but I guess I might as well bring it up since you kindly asked. This is as I said before, Bebinca was looking strong, uh, looking like it might intensify until it is not. And James Reynolds from Earth Uncut TV, a veteran storm chaser for the Western Pacific, described it like this. When your friend's drunk, taking their clothes out of the bar, and you're pretending you don't know them. But yeah, that's what happened to the storm yesterday. Pretty much, that's its chances to becoming a major typhoon gone. But yes, you said there as well. It's great news for the Ryukyu Islands because it means that the threat to there is not as major as it is before. It might, as I saw mentioned there, it might still strengthen a little bit, but compared to the potential that it had when it first formed, that's certainly a heck of a lot less.
Yep. Any more questions I can find? Yeah, by Mr. Beryl. Randomly GFS wants Dharma to form. Oh yeah, the North Indian Ocean whole thing. There is actually an Invest 93B, I've just realised. Oh, I think that's Yagi. Now I'm realising it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's Yagi.
I thought that was the case. It's not worth showing Southern Hemisphere models. There could be some wacky stuff there, but there wouldn't be anything.
No, it isn't. There's practically nothing from the Southern Hemisphere in September or October. I mean, it has happened a few times, but
Yeah.
it's such a rare occurrence that it's not really worth talking about.
However, the Central Pacific is always something cool to look over, because the GFS really like to spring things up inside the Central Pacific in their medals a lot. So I'm going to bring that up as well. Let's see what the Central Pacific has in store. Probably nothing too much after Hone. I know something about Iona was circulating around, but I think that's gone for more models now.
I mean, it would be nice if Iona came into existence soon, so that any potential for it to become a future joke disappears, so that
That
we
is
don't
true.
have to do what we did a while back in 5 years' time.
Yep. That long ongoing joke for Hone. That was... well... they went on for a while. And broke many, many records inside the Central Pacific. Yeah, Central Pacific doesn't look like it's going to be doing anything.
Mm.
From the GFS. Right. Do we want to take a look at the dying remnants of Francine at all?
Why
I'm
not?
sure
I mean,
some people will want to.
I'm sure some people... I mean,
As well.
it could cause...
there's not much to see, but
no, it could cause some sort of... I mean, obviously, I'm not a...
severe
I'm
weather.
not very intelligent in terms of American severe weather, but there's a chance it could cause like thunderstorms or anything. So I will
I mean,
bring
I
it
did
up.
see there was the SBC today. They did put out a 2% tornado risk in the deep south.
That is the wrong URL. That's the one. Yeah, Francine's not looking very, very good, is it? At Force 13, please don't make a joke for another Central Pacific storm, as it's just going to be 40 miles per hour. Well, we don't plan to make another joke.
Well, as I said, I hope it doesn't make a joke again, but that's not for us to control, is it? It's
No.
for the community, whether or not they want to make it a joke in a few years' time, and whether or not out there in the ocean, in the South Pacific, does those storm want to form or not? That really depends on that. It's not up to us, I'm afraid.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah. Hopefully, it won't be another 5 years, so we don't have to make no more jokes. Yeah, a lot of people are going over about Yagi's deaths. I've heard it's incredibly high, is it?
I think I saw something about like 700 or something like that.
Really?
Almost
one
200 in
person.
Vietnam alone. What I
wow.
saw. So it's actually really bad.
Oh, God.
That is bad.
That's terrible.
And it actually, a recent news I saw actually sort of highlighted, sort of like
768
how
plus.
Northern Vietnam is not exactly ready for this, because apparently there was a bridge in one of the northern provinces of Vietnam, who the local authority have been appealing to the central government that it needs to be fixed. It gets ignored, and then just after the typhoon passed, it collapsed when there were several vehicles in there. I don't think there's been an update on that, at least in English speaking, because I can't speak Vietnamese, obviously. But apparently that is also deadly. So even after it passes, if the storm has passed, it's still causing fatalities and death, indirectly, of course. But yeah, it's another bad
That's
stuff.
a really disturbing to hear.
Yeah. That is awful. Yagi was a truly historical storm.
Absolutely.
I mean, 768 plus fatalities, over 1,000 injuries, 208 missing, and what's that? 9.56 billion at the moment in damages.
Wow.
That will be getting
sure.
retired.
I mean, if both China and Vietnam didn't appeal for it to be retired, that would be crazy. that's retirement worthy. I don't care what you said. Any kind of other opinions that those after report numbers, that's retirement worthy.
Yeah. Icon showing Cat 4. Icon must be on something. What?
I mean, isn't the icon or the model that's always up there alongside the HWRF and what's that one silly model called again?
Are we gonna have to take a look at Icon for a second? People are going mental over Icon.
Oh, for what basin?
Yeah, what basin is this? And then we'll pull it up. We're going to take a look at this. At Force 15, do you doubt the Atlantic will get an average or above average season at all? It's hard to tell, really, because once again, models at the moment predict there'll be one or two storms, maybe one or two or three, but of course they're not fully certain when it comes to the longer range, and anything can change. And there's been many examples of that in the past couple of years. Last year was a great example of that with a couple of storms. But
I've seen a lot of talk about how unusually quiet the Atlantic has been, and people saying, "Oh, that season and all that." But like, I don't know. You could say that, but nature
We
is
had Barrow.
unpredictable. We try our best to predict it, but you never know, really.
right, I'm gonna pull up the Western Pacific Icon model here. Let's see what all this fuss is about then. Okay. I mean, okay, it is a lot shorter, but see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, there's something there. 976. Is there any longer icon I could get? No. Okay. Well, I think I know what everyone's talking about. And that is another system near the Philippines that deepens incredibly quickly in intensity. And not dampens, deepens.
No,
I would like to make that clear.
not the time. Oh my gosh.
No, I would like to make that clear because ever since that moment, it's happened a couple times. People have said dampening. But we will move on. We'll move on.
We'll move on.
Icon is being icon. It looks like. Let's see what the icon looks like for the North Atlantic. Is there anything going on here, or is it just same old?
Remember there was one model that tried to form something in the Caribbean?
Really?
I don't remember which one it was. It might have been Icon. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, nothing too special in the Atlantic from icon. Right, any more questions? Nope. Right, back to Ileana for the next couple minutes then. Is there anything else I could put up about... I mean, it's key messages, but there's no real storm surge things with Ileana. This is not a coverage stream on Ileana. I just thought I'd mention it as it is the...
It's the most important storm we have.
The most important storm at the moment. Right, let's put this. This is the wind speed probabilities. Force wind speed probabilities. Nothing too special. Just something that the NHC has up there. I thought I'd include. Okay, hold on a minute. I believe, if I'm looking at this correctly, let me see if this is right. Yep, Ileana is now 40 miles per hour and 1,001 millibars. So it has weakened to a 35 knot storm, so a low end tropical storm. Gordon is the same, Francine is the same, and Bebinca, I don't really know what Bebinca's doing. Speaking of Bebinca, we will put up a bit of Bebinca imagery for a bit. We do have Ileana imagery on the bottom left as well, so that will stay there, just so we are also covering Ileana. Or Ileana is a interesting name to pronounce.
I don't even know how it's pronounced.
Yeah. Don't forget the floods, which is enough to retire the local name Enteng. It's a couple of typhoon chat, wonderful, we'd love to see it. Obviously not the impacts, but chat on typhoons is something we don't really see too much, so it's nice to see that. I cannot find. That is Dvorak. I'm not putting up Dvorak imagery. Instead, I will bring up.
Oh, someone's gone.
Farhan has left. Well, we do only have.
Really a sad day.
We do only have 2 minutes left of the stream, so there's not too much more to say on show. But I will pull up Bebinca there. Yes. Yes, I will promote the Discord server then. Discord.gg/Force13 is our Force13 public server. There is multiple weather chats and tropical weather chats, like the North Atlantic, Eastern Pacific, Western Pacific, North Indian, all of the basins, where you can chat about everything going on inside the Tropics. There is also a general cool, fun game chats, like Guest a Storm, hypothetical chat, if you're into that, self-promotion chat, gaming, aviation, and all sorts you can do in our public server. Right. Any last words on the systems active then, Zeta?
I'm just hoping that everyone in the path of Ileana, or Ileana, however it's pronounced, are currently taking precautions for the storm, just in case something disastrous comes out of this, with flooding.
Oh, yes, on this day. That is a great
day.
call by SRB there. On this day, now, the on this day hasn't been made for the 14th, but the 13th is Typhoon Moranti 2016. Now, I can talk about Moranti for a while, as it is a storm that I do remember. Typhoon Moranti, incredibly powerful storm going through the... Wow, my geography knowledge is really gone. The Bering Strait, that's the... No, that is the wrong one. The Luzon Strait, that is the correct one. But Moranti 2016, on September 13th, 2016, was the on this day. It intensified to a high, well not high end, but a very, very strong Category 5. There's Moranti, I'll put it up on screen. Before they're making landfall on... Oh wow, man. I am not having myself tonight. I am very unwell, so I'm not able to process things in my mind. Right, I thought I would get the stream out though, as it is something that will probably have to be done. As doing Tropical Weather Bulletin Lights is useful for like a full coverage live over the tropics is needed every so often, whilst Nathan is away. But yeah, that is all for tonight's stream then. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for Zeta, Farhan, and Jack for their input on tonight's stream. Greatly
welcome.
appreciated. Sorry for my fumbles in my words and
Audio issues.
audio issues and all sorts, and technological issues which I don't have too much control of. But you know, it is all a part. Oh, it's just
Of
a
the
part.
process.
It's part of the process.
Mhm.
Yep. So anyone in Baja California, stay safe, and we will do more coverage on the tropics in the next couple of days.
Good night to all of you. Or good day.